This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex Lotion Tissues. You can't predict sick days, but with Kleenex Lotion Tissues, you can be better prepared for them while helping keep your skin healthy. Kleenex Lotion Tissues moisturize to help prevent skin irritation while you're battling those unwanted cold and flu symptoms. It's extra care when you need it most. Keep relief within reach. Grab Kleenex Lotion Tissues to help avoid the added discomfort of irritated skin during cold and flu season. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA. Today is November 20th, and we had a very exciting announcement. The clubs for the Unrivaled 3-on-3 Basketball League, which starts in January, were officially announced via their YouTube account in a very interesting 22-minute long video where we learned the 6 coaches had half an hour to assemble 6 squads of 6 from the 36 players in the league into 6 clubs, and then were randomly assigned one of those clubs. So we're going to get into all of that today on this Unrivaled-centric episode. But before we get into that, Kristen, how's it going on this Wednesday afternoon?
Going good. Today we're attacking our collective knowledge of Unrivaled, not the W, really.
Yes.
I mean, we got a lot of good information.
A lot of good information.
There's still, in my mind, a lot of question marks and a lot of why are you doing the things you're doing? But in general, great. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of that, as mentioned. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. If you are an Unrivaled loyalist or diehard and you're looking for Unrivaled content, we at Attack the Baseline are here to bring it to you because we're going to be covering the league somewhat closely as well before the upcoming WNBA season starts. But if you'd like to connect with us, you could do so at our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com, or connect with us on Twitter or Bluesky at ATBPod and ATBPod_. So check us out. We're there. We're hanging out. We're talking W. And today we've got 34 plus 2 WNBA stars that have been sorted into our 6 Unrivaled clubs. Why don't you bring our fans up to date? What are the names of our 6 clubs again that will be participating in this new and innovative 3-on-3 basketball league?
Okay, we have the Vinyl Basketball Club, coached by Teresa Weatherspoon. The Rose Basketball Club, coached by Nola Henry. The Mist Basketball Club, coached by Phil Handy. The Lunar Owls Basketball Club, coached by DJ Sackman. The Laces Basketball Club, coached by Andrew Wade. And the Phantom Basketball Club, coached by Adam Harrington.
Off the top, very happy that we have Teresa Weatherspoon here. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the pod. Very cool that Teaspoon, one and done in Chicago. She lands a gig with this brand new league where she gets to be one of these 6 coaches. I mean, this is the first season that they're doing this. I don't know if it'll always be these same 6 coaches or if it's going to change every single year. But regardless, it's still really cool to see Teaspoon. And she brought her teaspoonness to the video this morning. She was very prominently featured in the discussions where they were assigning players to squads. So how this works, as Kristen mentioned, these are the 6 coaches for these 6 clubs. And before today, we did not know which coach was going to be assigned to which club because this is not a standard draft. It's not like we had 6 coaches and they just did a schoolyard pick for the 6 players that they wanted to, a snake draft. No, it wasn't like that. The 6 coaches, among some other people, I don't think it was just
like
6.
executives.
Some other executives in the league had 30 minutes.
No, they had more time than 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes was like the break they had to reflect.
Oh, okay. But the initial exercise was 30 minutes.
That's what they said?
Yes, they said this in the video. Which, again, you can watch on Unrivaled's official YouTube account. They had 30 minutes to assign 6 players to each team, and the 36 players were sorted into 6 pods of 6. And the pods were 2 guard base pods, 2 wing base pods, and 2 big base pods. So it was a group activity. Yeah, we say that with Kristen's like shaking her hand. Some are a little bit more of a stretch, but pretty much they're all appropriately sorted. But these coaches had to do in their best effort to make even matchups, even teams, and put some pairings together that they knew that fans would be excited for.
Well, I don't know how many of those they did. I think 1.
Okay. We'll save it for a sec. And then they would tinker with the matchup, with the lineups as they formulate them to, again, try to make them appropriately stacked. And then at the end of this conversation, they had one final deliberation where they made a couple last-minute changes before they were assigned a team randomly to each of the 6 of them. So they did not know which team they were going to be coaching ahead of this conversation, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But we get to see that whole thing play out in the video. So I do encourage you to go check that out. It's cool to see some of the conversations that they have. But now I'll bring it back. You said that they had one...
Well, they talk about the reasoning, basically, for each player. So
They do.
I feel like we have to just go through.
Sure. Then, if you want to, start from the top. You took more notes than me. I have mental notes.
Okay.
But...
So, for some crazy reason, we start with Pod E. The pods were labeled A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yes.
We, for some reason, start with Pod E, which makes literally no sense to me.
Well, I have a guess why.
Well, yeah, because it's the players in the pod, but why can't that just be A?
Who knows? Who knows why they decided that this was Pod E? But tell everybody
These
who's
are
in
the
Pod E.
questions that are going to keep me up at night.
Okay.
Pod E, categorized as cornerstone players that are easy to build around.
Yes.
Largely 4 players at the 4. This was Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Angel Reese, Satu Sabali, and Aaliyah Boston. So I think at this point, it's a blank slate. So I think what happened was the Unrivaled executives, they just assigned, Stewie's going to be on the Mist. She probably said Stewie and Nafisa, they probably picked where they wanted
Which
to go.
ones they like the most.
Yeah, but everyone else, I think, the Unrivaled executives just split them up. Whatever, because that didn't really matter.
Right. Well, you knew that we were never going to get Stewie and Fee together. So obviously they're going to be in the same pod because they need to be on different teams than one another. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sure they had carte blanche to pick whichever team they liked the most, which I gotta say, off rip, I appreciate if this is true that Nafisa Collier likes lunar owls, because as a fan of birds and such, like me, I have an affinity for the bird team. So Nafisa Collier, you picked the right team. Mm-hmm. So that's our cornerstones.
Yes, those are our cornerstones that we're starting with and building the rest of the team around.
Yes.
Particularly, I really loved how Teaspoon talked about Angel in this segment.
And we know there's love there.
I know, and that's what makes it so sad that
Correct.
she got pushed out. Like, she was just praising Angel so highly, and I loved that. It was very sweet to hear. And honestly, amazing for Angel that she's being considered as one of these cornerstone players that's starting a team.
I thought that too. I thought that too.
Our only rookie that's being considered for that.
Right. Because if we look at you're right. You said it perfectly. It's like the 4-ish position, like a power forward.
Well, that's what they said.
Front
I'm really
court.
just repeating them.
Understood. There isn't really, you look at around the rest of the league, there's not really another player that would be appropriate to put in that position, because you can't really take anybody out of the big pod, which is pod
Because
F,
there's not
and
enough.
put them into here. Like Angel needs to be here.
Sure.
But it's okay. Like, she can be the cornerstone, but also be a rookie, and also benefit from having veteran talent around her, which was emphasized a lot throughout this video.
Yes. So that's Pod E, how they split them up.
Yes, we have Aaliyah Boston going to the Vinyl, Angel Reese going to the Rose, which they said is totally appropriate considering Bayou Barbie and everything. Stewie goes to the Mist, Nafisa to the Lunar Owls. The Phantom have Satu Sabli, and the Laces end up with Alyssa Thomas.
Sure. So then we go to Pod A. Now we go back to the beginning. These are playmakers, passers, and scorers, largely guards.
Yes.
We have Skylar Diggins-Smith, Chelsea Gray, Arike Agumbawale, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and Jewel Lloyd.
Right. So your purest bucket getters, it makes sense to go with a front court to start and then pair them with the back court option. So we get this conversation where they pretty quickly put Chelsea Gray with Angel Reese, saying, you know, Angel could have the veteran leadership. I think this is really cool because we know how good of a passer Chelsea Gray is. Could make some really interesting opportunities for Angel, some cuts and stuff like that she would benefit from.
Yeah, I love this. I think this will be so good for Angel, playing with a really good point guard. And I love that pairing. That's going to be fun.
Breaking news, all of a sudden, in the middle of this podcast, from Dat, our guest, just confirmed that another article has come out that Caitlin Clark will not play in Unrivaled. So
She's not.
which we assumed, but there are also 2 players that we don't know who is in Unrivaled, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay. So the one instance I was mentioning was they said that they wanted to put Jewel Lloyd with Brianna Stewart because that's what the fans want.
Yes, they did say that.
They never mentioned that for anyone else.
Okay.
And I guess, any of these combinations I think are fun and new. But that's the only one that they said. They mentioned the fans at all.
I guess I noticed that, but just completely blocked it out of my mind. The fans are just pounding their Twitter mentions, must be Jewel and Stewie, please.
I guess.
Begging you.
I guess so.
Kind of weird.
So yeah, Jewel Lloyd joins Brianna Stewart on the Mist.
Yes, and there was an interesting moment where they had Nafisa paired with Arike, and they did a music drop, almost like a Survivor Dodo edit music drop.
Yes.
Where it was but I don't know the college lore, but I believe Arike beat Nafisa's team on a buzzer beater in a championship game, and they're there might be bad blood there, we got to move her around, so they swapped Arike and Skylar, and Skylar ends up going to the Lunar Owls. So out of that Pod A, Arike goes to the Vinyl, Chelsea Gray goes to the Rose, Jewel Lloyd goes to the Mist, Skylar goes to the Lunar Owls, Jackie Young goes to the Phantom, and Kelsey Plum goes to the Laces. Aces, Laces. Pretty good for Kelsey, I guess.
Good branding.
Good branding.
Brand.
One letter.
Okay, and then we go to Pod C, so we're skipping B.
EAC.
And these are dominant wings, very physical, but still good at shooting. These are Alicia Gray, Kalia Copper, Kayla McBride, Ryan Howard, Marina Mabry, and Dejanay Carrington. One note that they said that I really liked was that they wanted to surround Dejanay with shooters and vets. which I totally agree with that.
What a concept.
Dejanay made huge improvements this year, and I think can still make huge improvements next year. So surrounding her with people that can shoot and she can learn from that and, get more veteran presence around her will be really good for her, I think. So they put Dejanay with Stewie and Jewel on the mist.
Right. So, you couldn't name out of the first two pods players that are more willing to shoot than Stewie or Jewel Lloyd. So it's perfect. Dejanay, I don't imagine will have a huge offensive necessity or presence in this league. She's still going to get hers. She can still attack, but she doesn't have to do exactly as much as she needed to do in Connecticut. She can just be basically the best defensive player in potentially the whole league because she's an all defensive talent. And in 3-on-3, where the league is or where the court is sort of spread out a little bit more because there's less players, Dejanay is going to be so important. So it is cool that she can not have to worry about the offensive side of the ball and just be an attack dog on defense. So very cool for Dejanay.
And then something else that I thought was funny was they put Ryan Howard with Enrique on the vinyl. And someone brought up but they're both, they're shooters. Both of them are shooters. And they were like, yeah, hopefully they can learn from each other and let someone else play. It's like, okay.
They shouldn't have to worry about that. But then ultimately what it comes down to, we have Ryan Howard going to the vinyl, Kalia Copper going to the Rose, which I think is a pretty cool pairing with her and Chelsea Gray as well, and also allows Angel to not have to be all offense. Gonna get hers. Dejanay goes to the Mist, as you said. Alicia Gray goes to My Lunar Owls. Marina Mabry goes to the Phantom, and Kayla McBride goes to the Laces.
Yeah, that's perfect for you, having Alicia Gray.
I was jumping for joy in my chair at the office.
Good.
I was thrilled.
All right. Then we go to pod B, going backwards again.
Okay.
Just someone explain to me.
Going out of order.
And then, so these are defensive guards, solid, dependable vets. So this is Natasha Cloud, Tiffany Hayes, Brittany Sykes, Courtney Williams, Jordan Canada, and Courtney Vandersloot. Something that I thought was interesting was at first, Teaspoon put pretty immediately, put Natasha Cloud on the vinyl with Aaliyah Boston, Enrique, and Ryan Howard to bring her leadership to them.
Right. Veteran leadership.
Yeah. But a couple players later, they were, they switched it up and they took her away. And I think that would have been good. I agree with Teaspoon.
I absolutely agree. I must have missed this moment. I must have lost, not paid attention for a fraction of a second. Because when I came back after they were done sorting this group and seeing that Natasha Cloud ends up with the Lunar Owls instead of where she was put at the very beginning, the first person they talked about with the vinyl, I think she would have been perfect up there. Jordan Canada, very good, ends up at the vinyl, but I mean, that's another younger presence where they could have used pretty much anybody other than Jordan Canada, in my opinion. Outside, Courtney Williams, I don't think that would have worked up there, considering, Enrique and Ryan Howard being as much shooters as they are. But still, probably would have gone elsewhere with that decision for the vinyl. But that's, our own critique.
So they end up putting Natasha Cloud on the Owls. You said that.
Oh, yes. Delco Maid.
Yes. Also good for you. I didn't really have many other notes from this group, if you did.
No, I also didn't really have much. This sort of anywhere they go, they'll kind of work out. They'll never need to be a primary option. But, the reason that I got so excited about Natasha Cloud going to the Owls when I noticed it is because I think Natasha Cloud is the strongest passer in the group. And at the start, I thought passing was something that could have been improved on that team. So I think she just brings them a huge boost in that regard. But as we go down, Jordan Canada to the Vinyl, Slim, Brittany Sykes goes to the Rose, Courtney Vandersloot gets to pair up with Stewie in the Mist. I was kind of surprised they did that. I figured they would like forced the teammates to not end up with each other.
Yeah,
but
they mentioned that. They said, well, we can't really avoid it.
Well, we can't really avoid it.
I feel like you could have, but okay.
Correct. Natasha Cloud goes to the Lunar Owls. Tip Hayes joins Jackie Young at the Phantom, and Kelsey Plum, and Courtney Williams ends up on the Laces.
Yeah, with Kayla McBride as well.
Correct.
So we're definitely like doubling up a little bit here on.
Well, what they could have
teammates.
done, they could have put Tip on the Laces. No, that would have been Kelsey Plum. They could have put Sloot on the Laces. They could have put Tosh on the Phantom.
But they definitely
Tip.
don't need Sloot on the Laces with Kelsey Plum.
Well, yeah. I mean, Sloot's the oldest player in the league. Or no, I think Tip is the oldest player in the league, but they're like similarly aged. Yeah, this kind of feels like a little bit more of a grab bag for this group outside of compared to the other ones we talked about already. So not a huge concern in my mind if they end up playing alongside some of their other coworkers.
Then we go to Group F. This was Athletic Bigs.
Yes, the true bigs.
The true bigs. Shakira Austin, Aaliyah Edwards, Brittany Griner, Steph Dolson, Dearica Hamby, and Azare Stevens. I love Aaliyah Edwards going to the Mist to play with Stewie. Since they both went to UConn.
Yes.
So that will be very fun. And I think also great for Aaliyah's development, watching Stewie and playing with Stewie.
Yeah. And my biggest thing is Dearica Hamby is a 3-on-3 medalist, Olympic medalist. She's very fond of the game, very good at the game. I think it's cool to have her in the Vinyl with Aaliyah Boston and Ryan Howard and Enrique. And I think she works pretty well there because what we saw in the Olympics is there were times that she needed to take over, but she was also fair to defer. And she's going to play with Ryan Howard again. So there's chemistry there from the Olympics built in to the Vinyl team. I wonder if
That's
that
true.
gives them, a slight edge early, just knowing the play style or being able to run plays that they did together in the Olympics. Because there's only 3 of them on the court at a time. Obviously, there's going to be a different look. You're not going to have HVL there, who you played with before. But, you replace HVL with Jordan Canada, can you get the same effect? And, just have any early chemistry is going to be a good thing for any of these squads. So I thought that was interesting. So what that ends up being, Dearica Hamby goes to the Vinyl, Azare goes to the Rose, Aaliyah Edwards goes to the Mist, Shakira Austin goes to the Lunar Owls, which was exciting for me, even though she didn't play a lot this year. I think she's the most offensively talented big in this group, so I'm excited to see her bring that
Interesting.
to this squad.
Not Steph.
Well, Steph Dolson is the best pure shooter of the group, but I think Shakira can do inside the arc a little bit stronger than Steph can, and she was one of the highest usage players in the league this year, in the limited minutes that she got to play, which who knows if she'll be high usage here, but she probably will. I think she's talented, and I hope she's healthy. Brittany Griner goes to the Phantom, and Steph Dolson goes to the Laces, and that brings us to our last pod.
Yeah, our last pod is Pod D. These are the role players that, in my mind, are kind of just like the ones left over.
Also young.
Not that they're left over, but they didn't necessarily fit in one of these groups. And the 2 wild cards are also in this group. So it's like, well, we don't really know who's going to be here. So we're just putting you all together.
Let's talk about these 2 wild cards.
Okay.
Because last night at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever we were like looking at each other and saying, they're going to announce the clubs tomorrow and we don't know who two of the players are. We were thinking that there was going to be an announcement right before the video, maybe an announcement at the end of the video. Kristen used her Taylor Swift theoretical ability to, propose that it was going to be Caitlyn and Asia being announced because both of them wear 22 and the video is 22 minutes long.
They were saying 22-minute video will be done at 11:22.
Kind of a weird idea.
Kind of weird.
But as far as we can tell, and with the inclusion of the breaking news from Dat that we got mid-pod, no Caitlyn, certainly no Asia. It'll be players in a similar talent pool to Lexi Hall, Kate Martin, Ray Burrell, and Rakia Jackson. It's not going to be a game-breaking player that adds a huge talent disparity between the other teams. It's got to be somebody younger.
Well, the guy said on the video, I don't know what his name was. He said it's going to be the best players we can get.
Cool.
So
why didn't you get 2 more before this was done? Why did you expand the league by 6?
I'm sure they're trying.
I'm sure they're trying.
Which is weird.
It was weird. This whole time I've been so confident about the league, and then they do this to us right at the end, like, here's 34 plus 2 wild cards. That is just a weird vibe to me.
Yeah.
I hope they just sign 2 people tomorrow and we put them on the team and then we don't worry about it the rest of the time, because seeing that the Lunar Owls have a wild card player is so weird to me.
Well, it could be anyone. It could
be anybody.
Could
be
so
anybody.
much potential.
Could be literally anybody. Asia.
Anybody off the street. They're like, we can't get somebody. You want to play with us?
Yeah, Paige, you're dropping out of college. Come on.
I mean, honestly, that's what kind of sucks. Like, Paige would be in it if she could. Cameron Brink would be here if she wasn't hurt.
Right.
Like, there are players for various reasons that aren't here that should be taking up, the spots.
I was banging the table all day saying, give me Jonquel Jones. And not that Jonquel Jones fits into this pod at all, but like, I wanted her in the league so bad. And I'm upset that she's not going to be here.
Well, she could if she says, okay, I'll play.
But if she does, she'd be so much better than the other.
But they're not going to say no. They're not going to say no to Jonquel if Jonquel comes up tomorrow and says, okay, I'll play with you guys. They're not going to say, you're so much better than Kate Martin. You can't play.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
So
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know who we're going to get, but
yeah, we were clowned. It's fine.
I
am confident that they're obviously going to get people. It's just, and we have time. Okay. It's fine. Right. I don't know, like, how much practicing they're doing with each other.
They're not.
Like,
they're probably
so
just like
fine.
The weekend before.
Right. So it's not a big deal in my mind.
No,
I'm
it
not
doesn't
getting
like
caught
affect
up on
the team chemistry that
No.
they only know 5 of their 6 players.
It's fine.
It's fine. These are the role players, like you said.
Yeah.
You have any other takes on the group?
Well, we end up with Aaliyah Edwards and Rakia Jackson on the Mist, the same team, the only team with 2 rookies.
Oh, that's a good observation.
Which is interesting. I mean, they obviously have other great talent in Stewie, Jewel, Dejanay, but it's just not as much experience on that team. Not that so many of these players have 3-on-3 experience to begin with.
Right.
But, another layer. And one of the coaches said Rakia has the highest floor of any of these players. And I said,
any of them?
Well, of this group.
Absolutely.
I said, okay.
I completely agree.
Good
because
for Rakia.
From a pure shot-making perspective, she was wildly efficient this year. So adding a wildly efficient shooter that's taller than the rest of them to your team is a boost. So I think that's a perfectly correct comment there. But in the end, Ray Burrell goes to the Vinyl, gets to play with her teammate Dearga Hamby. Lexi Hull goes to the Rose. Rakia goes to the Mist. Wildcard 1 goes to the Lunar Owls. Wildcard 2 goes to the Phantom. And Kate Money Martin goes to the Laces.
Okay.
And that defines our 6 squads.
Yeah, and then they assigned the coaches, which was cute. They all got their little team hat. The one coach that really stood out to me was Andrew Wade. I don't know if you were like paying that closely attention to the video.
I took screenshots of all the coaches with their wearing their hat. Mm-hmm. Andrew Wade, got him. What about him?
I think he had the most to say. Who knows, edits, but it seemed like he had the most to say about strategically thinking about which of these players would fit well together. He seems very like logical and strategic and really knows these players. So I think he's going to be a really good coach. And he is with the Laces.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Edit shows one thing. I know my guy, my coach, DJ Sackman of the Lunar Owls, when asked immediately after Nafisa Collier was sorted into the Lunar Owls, he was asked, which team would you want to coach? And he said, the Lunar Owls. Yeah. Because Nafisa Collier is amazing, basically. And I said, I agree, DJ Sackman. I completely agree. Mm-hmm.
If you're a facilities manager at a warehouse and your HVAC system goes down, it can turn up the heat, literally. But don't sweat it, Grainger has you covered. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products for all your operations, including warehouse HVAC maintenance. And even better, they offer access to experts and fast delivery, so you and your warehouse can both keep your cool. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
So those are our squads. Those are our coaches.
Love it.
Should we reread the teams?
No.
Okay. If you want to go, check it out. They've posted plenty of screenshots of the teams.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we know the pods, because we wanted to do this exercise before we found out about all of this.
Yeah.
Of let's put the teams together. Who would we put together? But we knew they would be in these special groups, and we didn't know who would be on these groups, so it would be like totally invalid for us to even try.
Yeah.
So now that we have these groups, John, who would you have wanted on your ideal team?
Do you want me to just name all 6, or you want to go pod for pod?
I guess we could go back and forth pod for pod.
We go in pod for pod.
Mm-hmm. Can we go
alphabetical
order?
order?
In the order they went.
In the order that they went? Fine.
I hate it.
Okay. Who's your pod E for your first pick?
I picked Stewie.
Okay, I would pick Nafisa.
Okay.
So, wow. We're picking the two people that founded the league.
Okay.
Interesting.
Look at us. Okay, Pod A.
Pod A. My Pod A representation would be Jackie Young.
Oh, I picked Kelsey Plum,
Okay.
who I've been saying I want her on my team.
I mean, Kelsey Plum and Stewie would be pretty crazy.
Yes.
I like Jackie Young there. I mean, I'm not going to go through every reason about
No,
all
it's
the
fine.
choices.
Either one of them, I'd be happy.
Sure.
They both also won a gold medal together
Sure.
in 3-on-3. So
That's very true. Very true. Then we go to which one? Pod C. Who would you have?
I picked Kalia Copper.
Interesting. I would pick Dijonay.
Okay. You
Pure-
want the defense.
I want the defense purely and the speed. She plays fast. So,
Yeah.
and I actually, to bring it back to, it was kind of interesting once the coaches got their teams, we get like a minute and a half of just like random things that they're saying. Like, we're excited to play fast. We're excited to, get up a lot of shots, play great defense. Like they've already started the thought process of how they're going to fit these 6 players together. And I think that's super cool. And another reason to watch the video is just to hear the little things that these coaches are going to do. Because hopefully they're all really good coaches. We don't really know anything about them, but I hope they're all really good. So that's our first 3.
Pod B.
My Pod B. Your Pod B.
Pod B, I'll take Courtney Williams.
I'm going to take Natasha Cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Surprised that I don't take
It's fine.
Courtney Williams to play with Nafisa, who I know, a lethal shooter. I thought, like I said earlier in that group, Natasha Cloud's passing is so good, and also the defense that she explicitly brings.
Yeah.
Now I've got you're locked up between Dijonay and Natasha Cloud. Sorry.
Okay. Pod F, I picked Stephanie Dolson.
I'm going Shakira.
Okay. Pod D,
Pod D.
do you want to risk it and pick a wild card? Wild card 2, like in our Big Brother draft this summer, you took player 17
The 17
that we
house
didn't know.
guests. Come on over, Jenky. No, I'm taking Rikia Jackson.
Oh, me too.
I want the guarantee. I know what player Rikia is. And I think she's just so perfect on any team that I think it makes sense to pick her over the mystery box. But yeah, it's so exciting. I said Fee, Tosh, and Shakira Austin. That's 3 out of the 6 players on the Lunar Owls. I am thrilled about that team, and it's funny because when we started the podcast, we're not going to pick a WNBA team because there's no Philly team. This event is only taking place in Miami. I'm picking a team, and I'm backing a team.
Okay, who? You're the Lunar Owls.
I am a Lunar Owls day 1 fan.
Okay.
I need a hat.
For Christmas,
Put it on the list.
I'll check their merch.
Unless it's $75, which it very well could be.
Probably. Okay. It's hard for me because I really, really want to root for this Rose team with Angel and Chelsea Gray and Ka. But I'm being drawn to the Laces.
What is it about the Laces?
I think the dynamics are just interesting with Kayla and Court playing together, with Kate Martin and Kelsey Plum playing together. So they will have chemistry on this team. I love Stephanie Dolson, and I want to see her. She was on a 3-on-3.
Yes.
Okay, so she's going to be good. I just think they're going to be good.
And AT is the perfect anchor,
She's just gonna
defensive
bully.
anchor. She can pass.
Yes.
I think she'll be really good in the format.
I think she's going to be really good.
She was one of the last additions to the league, one of these 6 expansion players. When they announced her, I was very thrilled because she's very fun to watch in a way that's not the most typical. She can just do so many different things, but as you know, she doesn't shoot the ball the same way that everybody shoots the ball. So it'll be cool to see her be like a maestro in a 3-on-3 setting explicitly with some of these really good shooters and really dynamic, fast-moving shooters.
Yeah.
It's going to be sweet.
Okay. Well, I need to talk about the scheduling and the games.
You've got takes. Go.
I have more breaking news that I just got 1 minute ago, a notification. Unrivaled tweeted, "We sold out of pre-sale for all games in under 30 minutes.
Crazy.
Don't worry though, pre-sale round 2 is coming tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Oh, fun.
That's good news for us because I was a little mad earlier. John was at lunch with his coworkers.
Yeah, sorry I was at a team lunch
Okay, you should be responding to my texts.
at 1 p.m. on
Yeah.
a Wednesday.
Yeah. So I got a Ticketmaster code for the newsletter subscribers to do a pre-sale. And I was trying to get tickets for February 8th because that's just like the best one that fit in with our schedule. And John didn't answer me for 40 minutes and then they were all sold out.
You could have just let it rip. All I'm saying. I would have said, great.
I'm not just going to like plan a whole vacation without asking you.
It is a little unfortunate that it needs to be a weekend trip
Yeah.
because we can't just drive for a day.
Games are played Fridays, Saturdays, and Mondays. Every week.
But you only get tickets for one day. You don't get like a whole weekend pass.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's 2 games. You get tickets to like a time slot, and there's 2 games in the time slot. So
Right, you get to go to 2 games,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is pretty cool.
The tickets are the games are being played at a custom designed facility located at Media Pro US in Medley, Florida, which is like right near Miami.
Okay.
But the number of seats in this facility is 850.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
You couldn't have like gone for maybe like 1,500. You can't just like double that. 850
Like,
with the best players in the WNBA. You can fill a stadium.
I know. Like, did they not think they could? Or, like, could they not get an arena that was available?
It could have been that because you can't like take a college facility
Yeah.
for 10 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah, but if you're, like, playing in a major city like Miami, there's, like, a bunch of different arenas. You could have, like, had them at different arenas. They don't all need to be at the exact same building.
Yeah. I don't know.
That
It's
is
just
crazy.
a shame. It's a bummer.
That's such a shame to me.
And the court looks cool. They've shown they've shown videos of what the court's going to look like.
I mean, yeah, it's, like,
It looks cool.
that they're, like, custom designing this whole facility.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Bubble. It kind of feels like the Bubble, the way it
Yeah.
looks like. Mm-hmm. Not that there were any fans at the Bubble, but still.
I don't know. So that's, like, weirding me out, bumming me out. I guess I'll try to get tickets tomorrow morning. I don't think I'll be able to.
You have my approval.
Okay.
You
I'll just
heard
do
it here, folks.
Ever I want. It seems like there's like 42-ish games total.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure it out quickly while you were talking at the beginning of like how many times they played each other. It seems like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced that. I think it's 3 times each.
Okay.
Because remember, they're not playing in a different venue. It's not like there's a home court advantage.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like I was looking and the Rose versus Vinyl, that's 4 times. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then there's a whole stretch, a whole weekend in February where we're doing 1v1 games. So hopefully, I don't know if they're like telling everyone you all need to do this.
Oh, the actual 1v1. The 1v1 tournament, which
Yes.
if you're not in the know, they're doing a one-on-one basketball tournament of these players. I don't know how they're going to pick who plays who. Don't know how they're going to do it. Probably something to do with the pods, I would guess. I don't know. But that's a thing too.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. February 10th, 13th, and 14th are the 1v1 games.
Crazy.
And all of these games are streaming on Max.
Oh, you're right, because of the TNT.
Yeah, and they'll be on TNT. Some are on True TV. You'll see them. Mm-hmm. That's my gripes. That's my excitements.
It's
I'm
going
looking
to
forward to
be very visible. So if you're hankering for women's basketball, if your NBA team is mediocre or letting you down, and you just need some joy to watch some of your favorite WNBA players hoop. This is going to be right here, and it's going to be so easy to get. It's going to be so easy to get. So many people have a Max subscription or cable.
Do we even have that?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. Somebody else is.
Okay.
We will be there. We will be watching. Hopefully we can make it to a game because I want to see what the atmosphere's like.
Well, very slim at this point.
We'll say.
I'm not paying like
Brittany
hundreds
Sykes slim.
I'm not paying hundreds of dollars for resale tickets.
That's why there's pre-order round 2, baby. We will be there no matter what. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll keep you updated.
10 a.m. is better than 1 p.m. Sorry, I was at lunch. Unrivaled.
Okay. Let us know who your favorite team is.
Send us an email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Connect with us on our Twitter or Bluesky, ATBPod. We're there. And, yeah, pretty stoked. I am stoked that it's real. It finally feels real because it kind of just felt like a concept for all this time.
It always has felt real to me. They're doing the best they can. I think it's like going pretty well at this point. It's good that they had to expand. And I'm confident that they'll fill the spots. And the marketing in general is great. Design's great. It's in general great. And they're doing their best. This is the first time. I just wish they had some more foresight that more than 850 people are going to want to come.
Well, hopefully we're 2 of the 850 on one particular Friday or Saturday evening. That's all we've got for you today, talking about Unrivaled. Next week's episode, don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure it out. Off season. Enjoy, and we'll talk more with you later. But Kristen, I'm staring intently at the baseline. What are we going to do?
Attack it.
Attack the baseline. Let's go Lunar Owls. Let's go Laces. And we will talk to you again very soon. Bye.
When raising a Pacifico beer with friends you just met turns into hitting up their friend's local art show, getting inspired to create something together, and painting your first mural, you found what was waiting for you. Pacifico. Life's waiting. 21 plus only. Discover responsibly. Pacifico Clara Beer. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. 1 purchased equals 1 donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, I'm Trevor Sikkema, host of the PFF NFL show, here to tell you what you can find on all of our shows throughout the week. On Mondays, we have the Grade Release Show, where myself and Dalton Washman break down every single game that you just saw in the NFL. On Tuesdays, we have the Quarterback Breakdown with Seth Galina. On Wednesdays, we've got the Rookie Review with John Ledyard and the preview for the upcoming week in the NFL. So make sure you are subscribed to the PFF NFL show wherever you get your podcasts.